Thank you to the Patreon supporters of the What We Remember podcast. Sarah P., a.k.a. Situational Daddy on Instagram. Sandy and Paul J. Nathan E., Jacqueline M., Matthew J., and Big Time Jim. Help support our show by going to patreon.com/whatremember and pledging a monthly amount. Thanks. Bunch unusable intro without context, so we gotta start a new intro.
Look,
Do we have to?
Yes.
Says who?
But look, just you clip it, you put it on the Patreon.
I wasn't even recording for
clip
half
it.
of the conversation.
Clip it, though.
Classic Brad. Always record, Brad. That's
I clipped
the
so
rule.
much. I was recording,
Clip
but I
it.
just switched the battery.
Did you clip it, though?
Clip it.
Clip it.
Clip it
Tell- bop
real
it.
good.
Bop it. Twist it. Clip it. Pop it. Clip it. Clip it. Twist it. If they made a Bop It video editor like keyboard,
Oh, man.
man, I'd be moving so quick.
Yeah,
for
you
our
just be
edit.
flying through those.
Can you program
Normalize
it somehow? Can you hook it up to a computer somehow?
Probably.
Program it?
I don't know.
What's
denoise.
what buttons do you really need? Because you only got 3 options.
Well, I'm probably gonna want fast forward for like the twist it, and then
you
the
go.
Bop
Yeah,
It's
that
gonna be
makes
the
sense.
cut point, probably.
Okay.
I say cut. Yeah, cut.
What about pull
cut
it?
and overlap?
Pull it will probably like you do a cut, and you hit pull it, and they'll
Yep.
And then
they
put
them
stick them together with the slide.
Hey, there we go.
Done.
Bop It's video Vegas editor.
Yeah,
Sony
Elgato,
Vegas
get
Bop
on
It.
this, whatever. Like, yeah.
My name is Bradley Jones.
Manager Moldenhauer.
And I'm Andy Hubert.
It's not a movie review podcast.
No.
It's a podcast. We try to remember a movie we haven't seen with our eyes in a very long time. And this is what we remember about There's Something About Mary.
Were there 2 or 3 bad guys in Home Alone? And who was that forgetful fish in Finding Nemo? Join us as we're watching films. See what we remember and what memories we kill. Let's start the show. Here we go. This is what we remember.
You wanted to do this movie.
Did I?
Yeah.
When?
Last week you said so.
I wasn't even here last week.
We were at the Renaissance Fair.
Oh, I mentioned it there?
He was drunk, Brad.
I don't remember what I mentioned.
He drunk off turkey legs. He can't be held responsible.
1.5 turkey legs.
I did. It was 2. So the worst part is
There's
that
enough
they need
sodium
to give
for the
you-
next 2 months.
They need to
None of
give you
barbecue
wet
sauce
naps.
and napkins, yeah.
They need to give you wet naps, not just
do.
napkins.
That's true.
Maybe like a knife and a fork and a plate would be nice too. But
They had sinks there. You just had to pump the,
with the foot.
button, the foot pedal.
Juice it up.
Just a bunch of carny
Yeah.
spit.
Oh man. See, that's why I transitioned off the turkey legs. Now I do the chili and a bread bowl when I'm there now. And
That was good.
Just a little
They
bit
ran out of
easier to
Scotch
move
eggs.
around. Oh, come on.
Just as we wanted them. We're like, wow, this line's moving real fast. And it was just, they were out.
Wow.
And we're just leaving the line.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
That's a bummer.
So there is something about Mary.
Yeah.
There is.
It was a cultural phenomenon.
Oh man. Yeah.
Because a lady
Great.
had in her hair.
Yep. And that was scandalous.
I mean, they show that scene in the trailer,
It's
right?
so taboo, I guess. But they allude to it like you don't know what that could be.
It's like every image you ever see for this movie has her with the hair.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
It's like,
This
yeah.
poor lady. Cameron
Yes.
Diaz. Who's in the film? It's a big cast.
Cameron Diaz,
Uh-huh.
Ben Stiller.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got Chris Elliott.
Uh-huh.
You got Jeffrey Tambor.
Okay.
Yep.
You got...
Matt Dillon.
Yeah, Matt Dillon.
Oh, yeah, Matt Dillon's in this.
The guy from Mouse Hunt is in
Yeah, the
this.
guy from Mouse Hunt. I don't know his name, but...
Yeah, British guy. He's not British in
Nathan
this
Lane.
movie, but
He plays British in this movie for a
does
second.
he? Yeah, I think he's a
Harlan
British
Williams
guy.
is in this movie.
Harlan
for
Williams!
a second.
Harlan Williams.
Was that the
man.
guy? Your Musfet?
No,
No,
it's a
no,
different
that's
guy.
a
I know
different
who Andy's
I
talking
think it's
about.
like Ben something.
Don't know his
but
name.
Yeah.
And there's an old lady whose face looks like a catcher's mitt.
Oh, yeah, what's that lady's name?
And there's Keith David.
Oh.
Who?
The voice of let's see. I'll state the good hand. The like good name.
From the boar from Princess Mononoke.
Yes.
I thought we referenced a
Yes.
movie that we've done like They Live.
That's a good
Andy.
point. Oh, They Live. He's in They Live.
David.
I was gonna say he's
They
in
Live.
Gargoyles. He's the main guy in
The
Gargoyles.
10-minute
the
fight
amazing
scene from They
animated
Live.
TV show.
Oh yeah, Keith David.
I think that's
Okay.
War.
He's in 24.
But I could be wrong.
Keith David's in this? Is there anyone else? I think we listed.
She's got a brother who's not really an actor, but
Brett Favre.
just like a
Brett
goofy-
Favre.
Brett Favre.
Brett Favre.
her crush when she was little, or
That's
whatever.
true. That's true.
So, how does this movie begin? We're in the past.
Oh wait, this movie also
Yes.
has. So the music guy.
Music guy.
The Music Man,
The guy that plays the songs in between some of the scenes.
Randy Newman.
No,
It does sound like a Randy Newman kind of
it's. Oh, why am I blanking on his name right now?
Carlos Santana.
Tom
I'll
Jones.
Think about it. No, not Tom Jones.
A guy like Tom Jones. Neil Diamond.
Jonathan Richmond.
Sure.
You don't know?
That's
No.
a name?
Jonathan Richmond?
Nope. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Music fans out there.
So we're in the past.
Yes.
We're in
Yeah.
we're in the 70s or 80s or
I
something.
think the 70s.
Yes.
Yeah. Ben Stiller is got a mouthful of braces.
Yeah, he's
Oh
awkward,
no, she's got
dude.
braces. One of them has
maybe.
braces.
Yeah. And they're going to prom? Are they supposed to be going to
Yeah.
prom?
Well, he's got a crush on her like forever.
Yeah.
And she's like the preppy cute girl who could date anyone.
She's like the hippie
and they
girl,
want.
I think.
But Ben Stiller asks her out, and she says yes, and it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then Keith David's her dad?
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
So she's got to be adopted or a stepdad?
Maybe
I don't know.
stepdad.
Yeah, I don't know.
But he never makes it to prom.
Uh-uh.
Do you remember why?
He tries to use the bathroom, and
And he gets his
he gets his wing
balls-
His balls stuck
his
in
balls
his...
zip.
he gets
zipper.
his.
No, he goes to her house to pick her up, and then he has to use the bathroom while he's there, and he zips.
and then
Zips up
Every
his
time
sack.
they show it, too.
they show it.
Oh, they do.
show it.
It's a
I
prosthetic.
don't even know how he zipped it all the way up.
Well, then Keith David makes that point. Is like, I don't know how you even did that. You got the beans above the Franks.
I can't wait to watch this.
And then throughout the entire movie, her brother, who is I don't know, he's
special needs. Yeah.
The only thing he says is Franks and beans the entire time.
He calls Ben Stiller's character Franks and Beans.
Franks and beans.
Yeah.
What exactly are we looking at here?
What do you mean? What?
Well, I mean, is it the or the
Is it the Frank or the beans?
right?
I don't know. It looks like I think it's a little bit of both.
Franks and beans! Franks and beans!
What's that bubble there? What do you think? It's a. Well, how the hell did you get the beans above the Frank? I mean,
He's also, I think, like also like wants to play football or something, and like Ben Stiller, like I think that's the way into like getting into Mary's good graces is through being good to her brother.
Yeah.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah. He just has bad braces, or she has bad braces.
Yeah.
Something-
He has braces, but he
Yeah.
has those like 70s braces where it's like the whole
headgear.
the whole headgear thing.
The whole 9
Do they
yards.
kid? Do they? And then he just and then they just cut to like future, right?
Yeah.
Where
and-
they've all moved on from stuff.
Right.
And then she turns up in like a newspaper or like she's like doing something.
I think he's out in.
Then Ben Stiller hires a private detective to find her.
Yes.
The private detective is Matt Dillon.
Yep.
Oh, you're
Yep, yep,
right. You're right. Wait, but like, why does he want to find her? Doesn't he talk to like Harlan Williams or something like that?
Yeah, I
about
feel like they
finding
reminisce.
her?
I thought he like pulls out an old yearbook or something
Yeah.
and remembers that
Well,
like
here's
Or
the
someone
thing.
else was like, "Hey, you remember?"
Matt Dillon finds her and like goes back to Ben Stiller to report. And it's like, oh, she's ugly. She's a giant whale.
has
You
a
wouldn't
bunch
even-
of kids, lives in a
Yeah.
trailer.
And then Ben Stiller's like, that doesn't sound like Mary. And it's like, oh, you don't even want anything to do with her, buddy. Trust me.
Yeah.
And like Ben Stiller's like, I guess, but because like Matt
Dillon's also in love with her now.
everybody who sees
Everyone
Mary,
falls in love with her. For sure.
There's something about Mary.
There is
Yeah.
something about her, you know?
This movie's great.
it could be she's literally Cameron Diaz.
Yes, I feel like that helps a lot.
That's something to do with it.
Okay, so he learns from Matt Dillon what she's doing. He must say some truthful stuff because he sets up a situation where he bumps into her
Yeah.
as she's like leaving.
Well,
her
Matt
job.
Dillon tries to do that too. Like Matt Dillon tries to set up a meet cute with Mary
Yeah.
to go on a date with her. Yeah.
What does he do?
I don't know. He like I think he finds out what she's like super into, like baseball or football or something.
Pro football, right?
Yeah,
He's
like,
Brett Favre.
Yeah. Like plays-
Yeah. She's like a doctor because one of the other guys
she?
that's in love with her is faking a spinal injury or something as our patient to keep seeing her.
Yeah, that's
because
right.
that's the British guy. And he has like the arm canes.
Yeah, he's
Right.
pretending to be British, and he's got like the.
Is it Eric Idle? Did you say that earlier?
No.
You said they were talking about Epcot.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. It's not Eric Idle. He'd be way too old.
Oh no.
No, I know it is the guy from Mouse Hunt who plays
Yes.
opposite of Nathan Lane.
The mouse.
The mouse.
Yes.
The mouse.
That they hunt. Yeah, I just remember the scene where Ben Stiller like bumps into her, and they're like some, I don't know, there's a bunch of stairs, and he runs into her, and he's just like, Mary?
Yeah. This is the first time that he sees her. And like, Matt Dillon was a liar.
Yeah.
She's a bombshell.
Yep.
Exactly.
We gotta go out. And they reminisce about, old times and stuff. I don't know if maybe she brings up like, how was your dick and balls?
Probably.
No, well, better.
We have to start you have to sort of start the betrayals, I think, first though, because
Ooh.
Matt Dillon does start dating her, I think,
Yeah.
right away, and
There's some sabotaging.
British guy reveals that Matt Dillon like was a PI and that it was all fake. So Mary's like, "Oh, he's fake," dumps him. And then I think the reverse eventually happens again, where like they reveal, like I feel like Matt Dillon reveals that the British guy is also faking his injuries. And Mary's like, "Oh, another
nobody
faking guy.
is
No
using
one's
honesty."
real." And then eventually they also reveal.
Ben Stiller's the only one that's trying to be genuine.
Yeah, but he's still also lying and
he
doing
still
it.
lied about. He didn't
did
tell her about
hire-
hiring Matt Dillon to find her.
Exactly.
Yes, he acted like it just.
So everybody's
happened.
done something
right
weird to get this girl.
except Brett Favre.
Brett Favre.
He's genuine.
Yeah.
And that's the
And I think that's actually the
turn.
turn, right? Yeah, because they realize, like, Ben Stiller has this moment where he realizes that, like, Brett Favre's the only person that hasn't been lying to her, like, this whole time.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Well,
we
there's
need
a big hubbub scene at the end if we want to get into it already.
Yeah.
But like everyone's there, and like a dog is going crazy, like biting people in the butt and the balls, because the old lady has like a mean little Chihuahua
man.
poodle
Okay.
Yes.
thing. And she's also like the neighbor of Mary.
She's the neighbor.
Yeah, but she's just like a physical
She's really
joke.
loud.
You're supposed to like laugh at the fact that she looks ridiculous.
Right, because I think she's always wearing like she's got like a face mask on.
She's
like
got
the
giant like
orange-
white hair.
or the
Yeah.
green mask is what I mean.
That
She
dog
wants
ends
Mary
up
to find like
going
the right
crazy.
guy or
Right,
something like that.
right.
Yeah.
So it's always talking about finding the guy.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And then all these guys, like, who are you going to pick, Mary? And I think even Chris Elliott's there. I forget what his thing is. He, like, also liked Mary. But he sort of, like, plays it on the side of trying to be cool.
no. Yeah,
'Cause he's helping Ben Stiller.
No, he's an ex-boyfriend of hers, and she like has like
He's a
he was like
stalker.
abusive, yeah, like a stalker,
stalker.
guy. Like she had a restraining order against him, I think, or something, and so like they have to like figure out how to get him back out of her life,
Yeah.
basically.
And I think the more times Chris Elliott interacts with Mary or talks about her, he starts to get these boils on his
Yep.
face.
Yes,
or he's
that's
like breaks
right.
out in hives or something.
Well, Chris Elliott's the one that gives Ben Stiller the advice. You're going out with his date with Mary.
Oh, right.
You don't want to bust early.
You don't want, yeah, no. It
You
was
got to
like-
go into the
he's like,
bathroom.
oh, you're nervous for your date? Here's how you get unnervous for your date.
Yeah, it's like Die Hard. You go into the bathroom,
snap one
take your
off
socks
real
off,
quick.
and make knuckles with your
There you
feet.
go.
I
But
really
instead-
aside from, okay, he goes in the bathroom to jerk off, but the funnier part is like when he finishes, he's like, wait a second, where'd it go?
Where'd it go?
He doesn't know where it went. Like, it doesn't make
just
any
on his
He's got a
sense.
big
ear.
old drip on his ear.
Yep.
He goes
I don't
back
know
to the
how.
table. Mary immediately like, oh, you have hair
But she
gel.
like shows up at his house.
No, they're at dinner.
No. Andy's right. It is at the house.
Because he
Oh,
goes
right,
to answer
okay.
the
She
door, and
opens the
that's when she's like,
door.
"Oh, I just ran out of hair gel. Thanks."
And she's
Oh,
like, oh,
okay.
you got something right there. And then he goes to do it. She's like, no, it's okay. And she grabs the whole thing. And
Yeah.
Where the hell did it go? Hang on! Wait a second!
Hey, hello. Hi.
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good.
You are looking very beautiful.
Thank you. What is that?
Hmm?
On your ear.
Here.
No, your left ear. Is that? Is that a hair gel?
Yeah.
Great. I could use
No, you don't have to. You don't.
I just ran out.
And they go through an entire dinner scene with their hair up there. Then.
Yes.
Exactly.
And it's just like, how do I tell this girl that she put my in her hair?
Tell her that. No way.
Yep.
We
She
didn't even say that
alfalfa'd
this
herself.
is a.
I think it's Alfalfa. How Alfalfa made his hair?
Yeah, that's exactly that's the deleted scenes. I think.
Alfalfa?
How
This
could
is
he?
a Farley Brothers movie?
Yeah.
We didn't mention that.
Yep.
Yeah, well, dude, we haven't done
they did
Naked
Dumb
Gun
and
or
Dumber.
Airplane, Dumb and Dumber.
No, he didn't do. He didn't do those two. They didn't do those
Naked
two.
Gun?
Did they do? They didn't do Naked Gun.
Yeah.
That was
Maybe.
That was the.
They did basketball.
Oh.
They did. Oh, they did do
Yeah.
basketball. No, they did Dumb and Dumber. Yeah, Basketball Stuck on You. Remember that movie?
I wish I didn't.
with the classic duo
I wish I
of
didn't know
Matt
that movie.
Damon and Greg Kinnear.
Join at the hip.
Love both those actors, but that that's
wasn't Naked Gun done by the Kentucky Fried Movie people?
I don't know, Andy.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
I thought they were all Zucker Brother films.
who knows.
Yeah, you just said it.
We're talking about Farley Brothers.
Farley
Brad.
Brothers.
Yeah, the Zucker brothers.
Aren't they the same? They're
no, they're different.
There's two different comedic parody brothers out there?
That direct movies, yes.
Oh my gosh.
He's like, I don't even know who the Zucker brothers are. And I'm like, that's the name I'm trying to think of. They did Naked Gun,
I
I
thought
believe.
they were the same people.
No, they did Airplane, and then...
I bet they look the same. I'm going to put them side by side.
There you go. Yeah,
You tell me which one's which. I'm not gonna put the
Has
names
anyone seen?
Maybe they
below
were
each one.
involved
Have anyone
in one
seen
project
them in the
together.
same room at the same time?
That's a damn good question.
What else happens in this movie you want to talk about?
I mean, it's just and then that's it. That's the whole movie.
That's kind of the whole movie is like based around that one scene. Huh?
Well, the other thing is, too, like,
And then
don't
Ben Stiller
they
does some road
talk
trippy
bad
stuff.
about Brett Favre as well? Like, he's a
Possible.
bad guy as well?
I don't
I
think
don't know.
so. I think it's just that like they bring him back to like finally get them back together. And
No,
I feel
no.
like-
They do talk bad about Brett Favre because there's a big
Brett
scene
Favre
at the
abuse.
end where all of the guys are together and they're all talking bad about each other, but the one that is trying to be truthful is Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
He's like, the only good guy here is Brett Favre. We've all been lying about him. And
I think, yeah.
blah blah blah. You should be with him, and then he walks out and he does like the fakest cry where
Yeah.
he's like literally like sobbing.
and I think Mary comes out
And that's
to
where she
like
comes out to-
but also like I think she comes out to also say, yeah, I'm staying with Brett Favre.
no,
No, she comes out to
She
be
comes
with
out to
him.
say
with
that
Ben?
you've
Or what?
always
Actually, I
been the
don't
one ever
know.
since you zipped your balls up in your pants.
It's always been you, Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has a name and we will know.
Oh,
in the
because
part
he's like,
two, but-
what about Brett Favre? I don't know why he can't say the name.
Favre.
Guess it's the
Favreau.
joke.
Mary? Mary!
Ted! You've got your keys. Did you really mean what you said up there?
Uh-huh. I just want you to be happy, Mary.
But I'd be happiest with you.
What about Brett Favre?
What'd I tell you the first time we met? I'm a Niners fan.
They get together at the end.
Yeah.
Of course.
Gets the girl.
The other thing,
They get married?
Jeffrey Tambor, is he like Ben Stiller's psychiatrist or therapist?
I bet he also likes Mary though, right?
I think he
I also don't remember this scene.
he gets involved in
I can see him showing up at that last scene with all the guys, and everyone's like, "Who are you?" Like,
I think even he is actually interested too.
Yeah.
But
They all
he
are.
helps out Ben Stiller with one scene because Mary doesn't know if she could trust Ben, but then they set up a situation where she's overhearing a phone call between Jeffrey Tambor and Ben Stiller. He wrote out a script and he asked Jeffrey Tambor to just read the script.
Yeah.
Oh.
But in the middle of reading it, his dog rips the script out of his hand and starts chewing it to pieces. So then he has to like ad-lib everything in the scene.
Oh, that's good. I can't wait.
But I don't remember how that plays out completely.
I remember Matt Dillon being very mean
Yes.
all the time. Him and Ben Stiller, like,
and he's got like
their
that
fisticuffs.
pencil mustache.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's a real creep.
It's real creepo. Driving around in a car.
I mean, he's the investigator guy, so he's like probably like he bugs. I think he bugs her like her apartment
Yeah.
and stuff. Like
That's
how he sets up the
doing
meet
the
cute, is
most to
because
coerce
he
Mary
learns
into
all
liking
of
him.
her like secrets and likes and stuff, and so he can set up the perfect
all of the favorite foods and the perfect flowers and like everything that Mary
By
wants.
just
He like
stalking
makes
her,
it happen
basically.
on the first date or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, this is a romantic comedy, so it's like you try to get the girl, you get with the girl, you lose the girl, and then you get back together with the girl. Right?
Yeah, you always have the betrayal and then the reconciliation.
I don't really know how the betrayal happens for Ben Stiller.
I'm sure one of the guys. I think
It's probably just enough that Matt Dillon was hired to be a spy.
Yeah, one of it's like they finally revealed that he had hired Matt Dillon to find her. It wasn't that he just bumped into her.
I think he is the most genuine towards the brother, though, and I think the brother is the one that ultimately makes the decision to like go for him instead of Brett Favre.
I want to say that's how they get the British guy busted, but it can't be because it's got to be that they reveal
Matt
that
Dillon
he's
might be
faking
mean
the
to the brother
injury.
too, like push him around. Or
Yeah,
something.
one of them does that. That's how
I mean,
they get
I
rid of
think
him.
in the end scene, like what Matt Dillon might just like steal the crutches from him, and then he falls over, and he's like, he's faking it, and then the guy actually gets up, and he's like, well, he like drops the British accent, and he's like, well, Mary, my name's actually actually this, and you guys don't know who Jonathan Richman is?
It's a guy with a name. It sounds like
he's probably British. English?
He's like a New Yorker, I think. You don't remember? So in the opening scene and like maybe 3 or 4 other times, there's like a guy with a guitar and a little snare.
Why? Just for the movies' sake?
Yeah, well, he's
Does
the
he also
narrator.
fall in love with Mary?
He's the
He's
narrator
the troubadour
in a way.
getting narrated. Yeah,
and so he
guiding us through the
narrates
film.
little moments with songs.
Weird.
And he sings like the one that's like, there's something about Mary that they don't know.
There was a ton of
Mary.
So Johnny
There's
Cash.
just something about Mary. It's kind of like that. He's.
I think we talked about it before, but if like you had a hit song in the 70s or 80s, like you got a movie named after your song.
Oh, for sure.
Like Can't Buy Me Love.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Or there's a bunch of them. But
for
it's
sure.
the only one I could think of. But like Peggy Sue Got Married, I think maybe
That
you
love
went
and
to.
feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it just happened. Like hit songs just became films.
Yeah.
Just yanked it.
I mean, so the guy that I didn't know who the guy was until later. I listened to some of his music.
You know, are we supposed to know who he is, Andy? You just found out about him.
Wow.
Come
but he acting
on.
like we
Caught you.
how it's ridiculous.
Matt Dillon, you baby.
Matt Dillon, get out of here.
This freaking guy.
No, he was in a band called the Modern Lovers, and I don't know, they were like a 70s band. And then, anyway, I guess the Farley brothers just put him in this movie.
The only guitar guy in a movie that I want reference is the dude from Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou.
So George, yeah.
That's the only one.
He's
I know.
exactly right. That's the right answer right
the
there.
No, this guy's the first.
Just doing David Bowie covers. That's all I want.
it.
This guy's the first.
We'll pay whatever you.
No,
whatever.
you'll remember it when you see
Okay.
it.
I bet it's probably
'Cause he
true.
Yeah, maybe.
he sings like a few of like the lines that kind of tie in like what's happening in the movie. And he's in the scenes too. It'll be like the actors are in the scene and then they leave the scene and he walks in and is like on the
That's
guitar.
fun. I do like the troubadour style kind of like transition.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm gonna talk about the Harlan Williams scene in part 2.
Yeah, I don't
because
remember what
I
he
need to see it to
does.
do it justice.
Okay.
I miss that guy. I want.
Yeah.
Where'd it happen to him?
Yeah,
He's
when are
still
we gonna
fun. He's
do
very
Freddy
funny.
Got Fingered
Rocket
or
Man?
Rocket Man?
I never saw
Gotta
Rock-
do Rocket
I never
Man.
saw Rocket Man.
Call me mama.
It's probably
I've
great.
seen it a long time ago on like Showtime.
I know the
or something.
cover very
It's
well.
Terrible, I'm
Classic.
sure. I don't even remember a damn thing from it.
His man, I lived for anything he was in when I was a kid.
His
he
voice
was the
is
funniest
hilarious.
dude to like an 8-year-old me.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. He's like
King
got
of the
that
fart
like
jokes.
very flat type of humor, like the British dry humor. Like that's his. Wouldn't you say like
He's
that's
a fart
his
jokes guy.
Yeah.
It's fart jokes, but like the way he delivers it
Just
is
got
very
goofy
dry.
facials.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Very funny.
Okay, what's your scene that you're thinking about?
I want to say in part 2 because I want to do it justice.
Wait, what are you talking about?
I want to
You
see it
remembering the
first.
scene, but you're not sharing
He was
it?
saying he
not gonna
can't
share
wait
it.
for that scene.
Yeah,
again. He's
I wanna
saving
talk about it in
the
part
juicy
2.
bits in part 2.
Because it's very funny. There's like Matt Dillon or Ben Stiller like picks up a hitchhiker and it's him, and there's like a really funny scene.
Oh my God, you're right. I forgot.
Why aren't you sharing his part
Because
one?
I want to do part 2. I want to do it justice.
Okay, he picks up a hitchhiker.
Yes.
Oh, and he has like a
Don't spoil
a
it.
guy wrapped in a rug.
Yeah, stop the podcast. Stop it.
No,
Don't spoil it.
Jonas and part 2.
Stop remembering.
Is that Harlan Williams?
Yeah.
He killed a guy, but then he moves in with him or something.
It's the whole thing. I don't want to get into it until part 2 comes.
All right.
Yeah,
all right,
that'll be
all right.
good.
The movie ends with the song "Build Me Up, Buttercup" because I remember I
break it down.
rewound that scene so many times so I can learn all the lyrics to it.
So, anything else we want to say before we get on to part 2?
No, let's
I'd
get
say
into
let's
it.
Get into it.
We'll see what we got right and what we got wrong in part 2 of Something About Mary.
I'm gonna start my own company.
Really?
You want in?
Nah. I'm not. I don't really have any, money or.
You heard of this thing, the 8-minute abs?
Yeah, sure. 8-minute abs. Yeah, the exercise video. Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, this is gonna blow that right out of the water. Listen to this. 7-minute abs.
Right. Yes. Okay. All right. I see where you're going.
Think about it. You walk into a video store, you see 8-minute abs sitting there. There's
Right.
7-minute abs right beside it. Which one are you gonna pick, man?
I would go for the 7. Yeah, I'd go for
Bingo,
the
man,
7.
bingo. 7-minute abs. And we guarantee just as good a workout as the 8-minute, folk.
You guarantee it? That's how do you do that?
If you're not happy with the first 7 minutes, we're gonna send you the extra minute free. See, that's it. That's our motto. That's where we're coming from. That's from A to B.
That's right. That's good. That's good. Unless, of course, somebody comes up with 6-minute abs, then you're in trouble, huh?
No, not 6. I said 7. Nobody's coming up with 6. Who works out in 6 minutes? You won't even get your heart going, not even a mouse on a wheel.
Good point.
7's
Yeah.
the key number here.
Welcome back to the Lighting the Dog on Fire podcast. We watched There's Something About Mary. Oh, there's something about her.
Mary,
You
man.
don't know. It's the fact she never wears a bra. That's part of it.
Well, they definitely made her not wear a bra for like many scenes.
I hope it was her choice. I didn't look it up, but I hope it was her choice
Yeah.
not to do that.
This
I felt
movie
bad.
was not funny, actually.
No, it was long, too.
I did not find it funny at all.
doesn't meet Mary for like an hour.
I am so relieved to hear you guys say this because I was watching this the whole time, just like, is there something wrong with me? Like, none of this is
Something
funny
about Andy.
anymore. Like, and this movie is on like a million like top 100.
It's not
movies to
funny.
see
The
before you
funniest
die
movie
list.
you
It's
get.
like, yeah, it's on like a million top 100 comedies lists. And
I
I'm
didn't
like,
even think Ben Stiller was
this is-
actually like
Trying?
trying in
No.
any way at all. He didn't seem right for the part either.
No,
Honestly, the
he was
only
miscast.
part-
Matt Dillon was pretty good. I thought he was pretty funny.
That was literally the point I was going to say. The only funny person I feel like was Matt Dillon
He was
because
funny.
because he's not normally a comedy guy, and I thought he did really good.
Yeah, he was pretty
He
good.
was mugging to the camera all the time. It was fun.
Him and I thought Harlan
Williams in the car.
I thought he was very funny. just
7 minute
doing this-
abs.
No one's doing 6 minutes. No,
Can't even break a sweat.
that was good.
So Ben Stiller picks up a hitchhiker, which was I was going to talk about it immediately when we came back. He picks up a hitchhiker. It was
go.
Harlan Williams,
Yeah.
who is also a murderer.
yes, has
Yeah.
a body with it. Not in the
Why'd
trunk,
you wait
just, like,
though?
with
Why'd
him.
you wait to talk about it?
Because I wasn't for sure on all the specifics.
He didn't want
That's
to.
the point of the part one.
Yeah, no, he didn't want to be like me in the Starship Troopers
Yeah.
episode, making all the wrong claims.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ben Stiller goes out to pee. There's a giant orgy happening. out in the field somewhere. And
yeah, I forgot about that part.
He gets pulled over by the police, and then they find the body in his car.
And they have the classic My Cousin Vinny bit where the police interrogate him, and he thinks
he doesn't know what he's talking
it's because he either arrested him for picking up the hitchhiker, because the hitchhiker said, it's illegal to hitchhike in this state. And so that's what he thinks it's about. So they have the whole bit where he's like, I'm guilty.
Did you recognize
he told me it was illegal.
Did you recognize one of the cops?
Well, the one main angry cop looks so familiar.
Kindergarten Cop.
Oh.
He's the guy that looks like Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Was he?
He's the bad guy. He's the villain from Kindergarten Cop.
I don't remember that.
Oh, man.
He looked familiar,
I saw him,
though.
I was like, boom.
Yep, that's true.
Kindergarten. Yeah, I'm trying to, okay, I didn't think Chris Elliott was that funny.
Nope.
No.
I didn't think that...
Keith David was funny.
Yes, I did like his reaction. Like, it's weird
Chris
seeing
Elliott's
him doing,
wife
he's
had good
another
timing, but she just gets crapped on the whole movie.
Yes,
yeah, she's in 2 scenes.
Yeah.
Keith David's another Matt Dillon where I think it's so surprising to see him doing comedy that it's like it just hits that much harder. Like when he first Ben Stiller shows him his balls, he's like, oh my god,
yeah, that's so good.
And then it's like calm himself down, hilarious, really good. That was funny.
I actually I liked all the stuff with Warren.
Yeah,
Warren was great. Brother.
Warren was very good.
I didn't know before, but I watched it with the subtitles on, so it was like every time that he attacks somebody, he blamed it on them. Like when he knocked Ben Stiller against the table, he was like, "Did you see he broke the table? It was his fault." And then later on, he punched Matt Dillon in the throat, and he's like, "Did you see he grabbed my ear? He did that to himself," or something like that. He's always blaming other people for what he's doing. Did you guys see the music?
Yes.
Jonathan Richman
From
Modern Lovers.
I said all that.
Gets sniped at the end.
Yeah, he dies.
He does die.
He did.
Yeah. He's like the very first and last part, and he shows up three times, I think. I don't know the drummer guy, but
I don't think we mentioned
him.
the super tan lady.
Well, I didn't know it was Lin Shaye.
Yes.
From Insidious. That's how I know.
We didn't mention her at all in part 1, I don't think.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about her.
She's in a bunch of movies.
I kind of forgot about her.
She's an actress in tons of stuff, yeah. But
she
was sort of
she's
funny.
the one with the dog, and the dog features prominently in multiple scenes.
And the stuffed dog and all sorts of weird puppet dogs.
Matt Dillon has to shock it with a lamp, sets it on fire. It attacks Ben Stiller. He does some
wrestling
pro wrestling
moves
moves on that thing.
Yeah, puts it in a cast. I guess that's funny.
Yeah,
I watched it with Hosty, and she was like, "Are we supposed to laugh at this scene?" And I was like, "No, I don't think we are."
I said that in every scene.
Yeah.
I was like, "I don't blame you. It's not funny."
Oh man,
when he's beating up pro wrestling the dog, I was like, "Huh, okay."
Yep.
All right.
Yeah,
here's
okay.
a scene. Here's a scene.
Man, I feel like this whole movie, I was like, this movie destroyed the world when it came out. Everyone thought this was the
I loved it
funniest
when
thing
it came
in the world.
out. I saw it so many times.
I remember seeing this the first time and thought it was just the funniest thing that had ever happened.
I had it on DVD. I watched the ending even with that song so many times.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason this movie was successful was because of Cameron Diaz.
Yeah, I think the cast.
She's the only thing holding this thing
Ben
together.
Stiller, Cameron Diaz.
She's so adorable as Mary. She does a great job.
Should they have had Jim Carrey play Ben Stiller's role? Just do.
Then there'd be scenes where there'd be scenes where Cameron Diaz doesn't even act. She just reacts,
just says nothing, and
just frozen.
Get Luke or Owen Wilson too. You can swap in pretty much anybody.
There was a trivia at him. Apparently, Owen Wilson was the original. The studio didn't want Ben Stiller, and so they cast Owen Wilson. The studio was like, "We want him less. Go with Ben Stiller."
Oh, dang!
And so swapped him back in.
No, he did Shanghai Nights, so someone else.
Oh wow!
Oh wow! It could have been me, Mary.
Oh,
wow! Could have been my Franks and Beans.
Franks and Beans.
This movie sucks.
It's not good.
It's long too.
It's 2 hours.
It was 40 minutes had gone by, and
I had to pause after 40 minutes. I was like, okay, I got to take a break.
So many of those scenes.
I took a whole day break.
Are 2 to 3 times longer than they need to be. Even scenes the dog scene goes on for a long time, but at least it's a bit. There's scenes where it's nothing is happening.
There's 3 montages.
2 minutes.
There's too many montages too.
Yeah.
Why do I need to see these montages? They do a montage recap of the movie at the end.
Yeah.
I saw the movie. You don't need to recap it for me. I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, man. I was genuinely terrified that I was going to be in here trying to
defend yourself,
defend myself about not liking this movie. I'm very relieved that
No, I don't care to see it
We're all on
again.
the same page here.
Yeah,
I was
this movie
surprised.
stinks.
And I know,
surprised.
now I know
Stinker.
it's not that there's something about me. Okay, you know,
Something about Mary.
Yeah, it's something about Mary. It's her fault. Did you see it?
Yeah.
She ruined the movie. And did you see?
I did. It's. I don't even like. What do you even talk about? What else is there even to talk about?
I mean,
with
we
this
nailed
one?
a lot of most of the big stuff in part 1 about like who's who and what's happening.
And
Is this like this is before
Mamma Mia?
American Pie,
Yes.
which goes even further into like the raunchy like sex stuff.
yes,
Yeah.
but
This-
I think that one's
This is like borderline trying to do that, but it's just not far enough, or I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
it's because like the he masturbates and then he has the stuff on his ear.
Yeah.
That's pretty gross, actually.
Yeah,
when you
if
think about
feels,
it.
it feels like I don't know. You're right. Like American Pie, I think
The
is
mystery
just
of it disappearing
more,
is good. Like, it should have left it
I
at
like
that.
I like
That would've
that.
been funny.
I like that where he's like, "Where'd it go?" And he's like brushing himself
it's like-
off. But when they
Yeah.
show it on his ear, I'm kind of like, "Oh, I don't want to see this."
yeah. I don't know. American Pie, I think, is just feels more genuine almost. Or like this feels like it feels like a Judd Apatow movie too early and not as clever. And I feel like it just ends up not working.
It's not clever. It's like even for the Farley brothers, which I mean, Dumb and Dumber. Maybe it's I don't know. Maybe Dumb and Dumber is not that good. I don't know.
They were saying,
Well, Jim Carrey's a very good.
The
so.
trivia mentioned also that this was they were coming off of Kingpin, which was
Kingpin's
no
fun.
one
I like that.
Nobody
no
liked
one
it, though.
saw it.
Critically
Nobody
hated.
saw that,
So,
but actually, I
yeah.
think that one's pretty fun.
They went
good.
into this movie assuming this was the last movie they'd ever make. They were like, no one's ever going to let us make one, so let's just do the most ridiculous movie we can do.
and they didn't.
And then it was a huge hit. And
they didn't go that ridiculous.
Well, I don't know. It feels ridiculous in the sense that some of these scenes feel very low effort. Like they're just sort of like, I don't know. Here's a prop dog. Go crazy.
Yeah, you're supposed to laugh at like people's appearances and just like off-putting.
Even the
things.
teeth on Matt Dillon,
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if
I'm
that
just
was
supposed to
funny
laugh
at times.
I'm supposed to laugh at his mustache. I'm supposed to laugh at Chris Elliott having warts. I'm supposed to laugh at like Lin Shaye being tan. Like,
Yeah.
why am I laughing at like the physical characteristics of people? This isn't funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, or even the guy with crutches, Norm.
Yeah, everyone has like a physical thing going on with them. It's like
Yeah.
that's supposed to be comedy.
Like, the only thing that Hosty laughed at was when he's trying to pick up his keys.
Yeah, that was pretty
The
funny.
second time, not the first time, but
Yeah.
the second time when he literally like bends all the way back and then forward and the door closes.
that's funny.
That's the only, and she was like, haha. And that was it. That was the extent of how funny it was to her.
pretty good.
That character could have been better too. Like after the switch came, he kind of just disappeared from the film as like a character. 'Cause
Yeah,
just
he's
hanging out with Matt
very
Dillon.
much, very, very much a side character.
Yeah.
Yep.
He could have been something.
He's a
but-
side character trying to affect another side character. So it's
Yeah, it's strange.
they don't do. Yeah, it's and I didn't quite grasp the whole Chris Elliott thing. Like he knew Mary, but did he knew Ben Stiller, but did he know that Ben Stiller was trying to find that
Yeah.
Mary?
Oh yeah.
But why like he didn't want to see her, but then he did want to see her. I don't know, like what was changing there in his personality that made him go kind of like more.
And he also just like wanted her
psychopathic.
shoes. Like ultimately, like that was his goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to like steal her shoes.
I didn't understand that part. I didn't know why he became obsessed with her and wrote the letter. And like the more that he got the hives, like it changed him into being obsessive again. I
Guess.
don't know. It didn't make sense to
It's
me.
strange. I don't know. That's a lot of this movie, I feel like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then you wonder what like scary movie like 4 is bad. And you're like, oh yeah, no, they were bad in the 90s. They've always been bad. Yeah, this isn't new.
Like the original Scary Movie.
No, it wasn't them. They did 4 and 5, I think.
Oh, you're
Maybe even
right.
3, 4, and 5.
Wait, them?
Yep.
Was it them?
Yep.
No, it wasn't them. It was
Sure was.
Really.
Yeah.
No
I'm not sure
way.
which one it was. It was either 3, 4, or 5, or all of them, or 2 of them.
But they've done a couple in the later
The
series.
Farley brothers? You
Yeah,
think
buddy.
so? Are you talking about the
No,
other people
no,
that did
no,
Police
no,
Academy?
no.
Or not Police Academy.
The Zucker brothers.
Yeah, the Zucker brothers.
No,
Are you sure
they
it's not
stopped
them?
doing. They actually made Green Book.
Really?
Yeah, Think
What are you talking about?
Green
What
Book.
are you talking about?
Yeah.
No way.
Dude, I was surprised.
What are you talking about?
They like
Green
turned into
Book?
like legitimate like movie makers after in the 2000s.
That's like when you find out that you
after
know,
the Naked Gun films.
That's when you see the whole like George Miller filmography. Kind of shit, where you're like, oh, Happy Feet. Oh, Mad Max. That's right.
Oh, Babe Pig in the City?
Yeah, yeah.
What? That doesn't make any sense.
I know.
That's crazy.
I didn't even think they were still around.
They have movies in production. They're probably going to win Oscars.
That's insane.
They're going a whole different direction.
It's a long way from the Naked Gun films.
Man.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Wow. But this was a real stinker.
Yeah,
A real stinker.
This one. Don't bother. Don't bother.
No, I was like,
There's
yeah,
like
okay.
parts of this movie done in other movies that are better. Like in Dude, Where's My Car? The interrogation scene is better. In Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, like the two people going after a woman is better. Like there's just scenes that are just like not
My Cousin
good.
Vinny
My Cousin Vinny
better,
interrogation scene's better. Turner and Hooch, he's got the dog scenes that are better.
My thought too, now that you're saying that, they spent way too much time on Matt Dillon pursuing her
Without a
instead
doubt.
of
Oh, for
Ben
sure.
Stiller pursuing her.
Yeah.
Like they cut him like big section of him out of the movie to put Matt Dillon in
Yep.
there.
Ben Stiller doesn't meet Mary for like an hour.
Yeah, and I felt no. I didn't feel any sort of like I wasn't rooting for him necessarily at all. Like honestly, like at that point, like the only piece that you're rooting for is the fact that he embarrassed himself in high school. He could redeem that, I guess, and also that he was like scammed by a PI in a sense, where like. But I'm like, other than that, I'm like, I don't care if he gets the girl here. Like,
Even we didn't need to see any of the sequence with Harlan Williams and the police. You didn't actually need that at
didn't
all.
affect anything.
It could have just been Chris Elliott drove him down in the first place.
Yep.
yeah, absolutely.
I'm not sure why that was there. It didn't hinder him
Because
at all.
men having sex with each other is comedy in 1998, I guess.
Yeah.
That's funny. I don't care who you are.
The trivia did. I guess there is like an extended version of this movie
Ugh,
where
why?
Tambor has like an entire subplot of his own.
He gets eaten by that snake for all we know.
Yeah, he does. That was literally the subplot. Is at the end of it, the snake eats him.
What?
Yeah, like, and it's the whole thing, and they cut that out. Like, it's like an extra 30 minutes.
And only Matt Dillon knows about it.
Apparently, the
Jeffrey
first
Tambor?
Yeah, apparently the first cut of this movie was like over 3 hours.
So they think the snake ate the dog first, and the dog shows up, and then Matt Dillon is like, well, if you're here, who's there?
Where'd you read this?
No,
You read
it happened in the movie.
When?
When they were at the apartment, when Ben Stiller comes the first time. And they just see the snake in the hallway, and its giant belly's overinflated.
yeah.
Did you tune out for this part?
I must have. What are you talking about?
Ben Stiller accuses them of writing the letter.
Yeah.
And there's a snake in the hallway.
Okay.
And the snake has a big old belly.
Wait, Jeffrey Tambor was in that apartment?
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't put two and two together. They didn't even set that up.
That's the one Matt Dillon
You
goes to
didn't
in the
need
beginning.
to. You
didn't
didn't
set
need
that
to.
up.
No, because they cut it out, and then it didn't really matter.
And then Matt
What?
Dillon says his name. He looks at the snake and says Jeffrey Tambor's name. I forget
yeah,
what
I
it is.
don't know. It's
Oh
like-
no, Drew!
It's
What?
Cut the snake open.
I
Good for your
also, I
friend.
mean, the ending is also funny, in like, they're like, oh, Brett Favre, like, he's
Even
just
that
a nice
line.
guy, and I'm like, not anymore.
yeah, just recently,
Just
right?
recently.
Oh my gosh, that's in
Right,
the news
'cause of the-
as of this recording.
Taking welfare money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Actually, that's been in the news for a couple months.
Yeah, it's been a little while now.
just caught some new stuff, new
But
traction.
maybe they're actually starting the process of...
It's more.
Well, I think they
coming
knew
out
that we
on
were
it.
talking about there's something about Mary, and
They
they were
probably
like
did.
they were looking
Yeah.
into
They're listening.
the cast and crew of the
They're like,
movie.
we need to make sure they have something
So-
to boost it a little bit, make
Yeah.
it relevant,
even him, it's like he's just
There.
nothing. He's like he could be a
Yeah.
statue for all we know. He doesn't have any emotion or anything.
They could have cast like a legitimately like cool. They could have cast like a David Hasselhoff, or like an actor that like is just like, oh, that's a fun appearance.
Yeah.
But it's like, who cares about Brett Favre?
That's right. Like, it could have just been a celebrity. Like, it
Yeah.
didn't have to be a
John
football
could have been
player.
John Stamos.
Ooh,
Hey,
yeah.
John Stamos.
There's a lot of good options, and they went
Yeah.
with kind of a weird one.
Is that his only movie credit, you think?
Brett Favre.
I don't even know why they say the name that way, too.
It's supposed to be funny, Andy.
They mentioned that in the trivia. Yeah, like
everything in the movie is supposed to be funny.
They were like, a lot of people say that like Ben Stiller made that up, like or like there was a joke about how he didn't know anything, but he's like super into sports. Like that was very much a Farley Brothers like this is funny thing.
And she's into sports. Mary is. That's like a thing that keeps coming up.
Right.
But I don't know.
Yeah, this movie.
There was one line that I liked is when Ben Stiller and Mary get caught up for the first time, and then Ben Stiller's like, "Oh, maybe we should go out for dinner and catch up some more." And she's like, "Didn't we just do that?" In my heart was just like, "Oh, I've been there, Ben Stiller." But then Mary's like, "Just kidding," and I was like, "No, you weren't."
She did that twice with him. She also said she was like bisexual, and then he tried to like, "Oh, well, you know, a lot of women." She's like, "I'm fucking with you." It's like funny.
That's not even
funny.
That big a deal if you were married.
Right.
I mean, maybe back then. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sure.
You'd be like, okay, cool. Like,
cool. Great.
Great. That's,
Great.
Great. What we doing tomorrow? That's
exactly.
Not even a point of conversation, right? Just something about you. As if you have like brown eyebrows. I don't know.
It's just something about Mary, you know?
I'm not even that line's like not anything. It's not funny. It's not anything. Is it commenting on something? I don't know. You can't really tell.
Trying to be like a devil's advocate here. Let's try to find something happening in this movie. So Matt Dillon is going out of his way to be somebody who he isn't.
He quits his job
in order he moves. So let's just think of like if this could be just Matt Dillon's movie.
I did like the joke of like when he's quitting and Ben Stiller's trying to like find out more info, and he's just like, "Yeah, I took another job opportunity." What? Where? He's like, Rice-A-Roni. Like, great answer.
Isn't that the San Francisco tree?
That's a good answer.
Yeah, it moved.
What? Okay.
That was funny. It was a good walk and talk scene.
Yeah.
And he goes down there because he has this inside knowledge about Mary.
Yeah.
So he's trying to,
So he knows the dog doesn't like anyone, so
Right.
he drugs it, and that's like why he has a scene where he drugged it too much, and the dog like died, and he had to resuscitate it.
But Mary is, and ultimately just never interested. But I think she should have been. I think that is a missed opportunity in the film to have these two people at odds with one another, because it's just like, oh, Ben Stiller just wins. Because like Mary makes her choice that early, where she doesn't want to be with Matt Dillon anymore, and I'm like, I want more give and take between Matt Dillon and Ben Stiller, like in Cable Guy with like Jim Carrey and Matthew Broderick, yeah. Like that's how you do those kind of movies in that scene with those two kind of characters after the same woman.
Yeah.
That's honestly the Cable Guy is just like
Ben Stiller did a great job in the Cable Guy. I mean, with that one,
that's
wrote
true.
it. Mm-hmm.
He directed it too, right?
Yeah.
He wrote it and directed it. Interesting. Maybe he just directed
and starred in it.
He did.
I think there was another writer too. Maybe him and Judd Apatow or someone else.
It's a fun one because Jack Black is in the Cable Guy. It also meant that Ben Stiller directed their first music video.
Jack Black would have been good in this movie.
Tenacious D. I was like, I didn't realize that until I was rewatching it recently, and like he walks by as a cameo near the end of the video, like as a person in a mall, and you're like, wait, was that Ben Stiller just like coming through? That's pretty good.
Right, because they were also trying to make that pilot with the talking motorcycle.
And if you want to just keep like,
do you remember that one?
Vaguely.
Heat Vision and Jack.
Heat Vision and Jack,
yeah.
With like Owen Wilson.
If you want to keep adding like someone who is like better than Ben Stiller and Matt Dillon, but they don't. They just like have the same characters that just sort of like stop trying, and then all just eventually just everyone comes to a head, and like Mary's got to choose. But it's like they're all bad choices.
Yeah, that's okay. You're right.
To Mary,
you're absolutely. So if I was gonna rewrite some of this,
oh no, I don't want to do a rewrite for Mary.
No, we're not doing the whole thing.
That would be trouble.
But you're right here.
Hold on, I can play the theme song though.
Oh, there you go.
This is what we rewrite. Okay, go ahead.
Well, you're right. You're right here. Where absolutely introduce like 1, 2, maybe 3 people at like the two of them start the competition, and then better people keep joining the competition, and they're like, by the end you're like clearly like Ben Stiller is like maybe not the
as-
worst,
not
but
as good.
nearly as good as some of these guys. And she still chooses him because she feels a special connection with him. Like, they will go way back. Something where there's like a deeper connection than just like, oh, I like you. Like, there was nothing here in this one.
Let's get some more handsome
There's
men
no
in there.
reason.
Let's throw a Justin Thoreau in this movie.
Oh, that's
yes.
too handsome.
Get a Thor heat going.
That's a good one. But yeah, like
And now everyone has to so everyone is an enemy, and then everyone has to become an ally, and it just kind of cascades into everyone trying to knock off the head honcho.
yeah.
It's King of the Hill.
King of the Hill.
King of the Hill
Something
style,
about
yeah.
Mary. King of the Hill
Cool.
edition.
Battle Royale.
Battle Royale. Get to it. Modern Warfare.
I'd watch that movie.
That actually would be a great premise for a film. Battle Royale. You're just going to marry the princess at the end or something.
There you go.
I was gonna say they made a Battle Royale movie.
Oh,
It's called Battle Royale.
it's called Hunger Games, Andy.
That's true.
It's true.
But yeah, there's a way to do this movie that isn't what they did. And
Oh, absolutely. There's so much of this movie that didn't.
there's
need
so
to be
many
there. There's
like
so
on
much-
the soundstage scenes.
Yeah.
Like everything's just flat.
Yep.
Lit like real flat.
Yep.
s-
I can't honestly. There was like nothing interesting about the way like the production quality. No, none of the design or anything was interesting. The shots were all standard.
why are we in Miami?
nothing
I don't
to this.
know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
None of this makes sense.
They,
you can't make
like
sense
Mary
out
has
of
a
this.
throwaway line of like, "Oh, Warren likes here." It's like, okay,
And it's like sometimes it doesn't matter, but in a movie where nothing else was interesting, that was also not interesting. So it just adds to like, why do you need to watch this movie? Like,
Yeah, she said her practice was here and Warren likes it here, and that's the only reason why she's
That's
staying
it.
in Miami.
yep.
It's like, we don't know anything about your practice, lady.
Yeah.
You haven't even talked about that very much at all. I don't know. Throw it in the trash.
We'll put this behind us and never look back.
That's true.
So
I
many
don't
other
think I'll
better
watch this movie
films.
again.
Yeah.
there's just better choices.
I'm just gonna go back
There's
and
better choices.
re-listen to our Cable Guy episode because it's
Ugh.
the better version of this movie.
Cable Guy is so good.
It's so good.
It's great.
It's a wonderful movie. I hope
So
they would
good.
make a second one.
Oh man,
That
that'd
Super
be
Bowl
that'd be a
commercial.
fun legacy sequel.
That's
there you go.
true.
Thank you for joining us on that episode and every episode that you do. Nick Haynes of the Sketchy Nonsense podcast is joining us next week to talk about a movie that has the tagline, "Where you are the endangered species." We remember Congo.
Activate the remote.
In the race for the world's most advanced communications technology, a shocking discovery has been made.
What was that?
Lock your remote. Give me a thermal reading. Resolve to 6-6.
It will take two young scientists into the heart of the African jungle, where a secret hidden for 2,000 years holds the key to the future.
This is Karen Ross. 81452. Houston, do you read?
You used to work for the CIA, and now you're Travico.
Some will come to it for science.
This is a big deal, Charles. This is a big find.
Some for fortune.
A diamond mine of incredible bounty.
And some to return home.
She doesn't really belong anywhere, does she?
No, she belongs here.
Together, they will search.
My boss, he thought I wasn't gonna make it. He sent another expedition.
Drawn deep into a mystery.
Camp destroyed, people dead, a gray gorilla
No
or
such
something.
thing as a gray gorilla.
I saw one.
And the more they discover,
The same hieroglyphics over and over.
the greater the danger.
What do they say?
We are watching you.
I never saw an animal move like that.
How intelligent are they?
See, they're smart. They're too damn smart.
We're getting out of here.
What about them?
Put him on the endangered species list.
From the best-selling novel by the author of Jurassic Park.
The myth of the killer ape is true.
Congo, where you are the endangered species.